ICT functional skills, Word mail merge. Topics you need to know. You need to understand the purpose and see some examples of mail merge. We're going to look at the mail merge tab and ribbon. We're going to go through the wizard steps. Okay, so we're going to look at the mailings tab, and specifically the whole ribbon. And there's various features here, and as you can see, most of them are greyed out, because until you start the mail merge process, these options won't be available to you, and it will depend on what you select. Now, what I'm going to emphasise here is easier, and for the place of where you are, for the ICT functional skills, I would use the mail merge wizard, and that can be found under mail merge. This drop down, and a step-by-step mail merge wizard. And this takes you through all the processes you need to know for each type of mail merge that may come up in the exam. Now it says to select your document type, so what type of mail merge are you going to do? And you see there's an option for letters, email messages, envelopes, labels, and some kind of directory. And as you select each one, it gives you a description of what that's intended for below. So for letters it says, send letters to a group of people, and you can personalise the letter that each person receives. And we'll come down to that later. So that's step 1 of 6 done. So I go next, starting document. And then so it says, what do you want to sort of set up your documents, your letters with? And I'm going to use this current document that I'm working on. There is an option to start from a template or an existing document. And so it says start from the document shown here and use the mail merge wizard to add the recipient information. And that's what I need. And I can go next or previous at this point. And I'm going to go next. Select my recipients. And I can do this from an existing list, from my Outlook contacts, or I can create a new list. Now I've selected add an existing list, so I have this option to browse a list here, which I'm going to do. And I actually have a list ready in this instance. And if I didn't want to send my letter to everybody, so for certain criteria, are they a certain type of customer, how long they've been a customer for, I could untick these options accordingly. I can also sort them, etc. But in this instance, that's absolutely fine. I'm quite happy to go to all 5 people. And then I actually can write my letter, and at least that is the next step. And now I need to place some place markers in my letter. So if you've not done the letter so far, you can write it now and add recipient information to your letter. Click location and document, and then click one of the items below. Now I'd like to replace the little prompt I've got here with the address block and give myself a little preview how I'd like that to appear. So just check you are happy with this, and if the exam says you need to include certain information that's not here, then make sure you go through and add those details. I'm going to click OK. As I don't need this information, so I'm just going to delete this. Now, if that didn't do what I wanted it to, when it comes to printing later, I may decide to do this more manually. So I'm going to actually delete that, just so you know that was there. Then I can go to more items. Now, what do I want to include? Now, these are all the options that are actually in my little database of details, which managed to find them via the title. You can see I've got a title, a surname, an initial, a house number, a road, etc. So I'm going to manually put these in, just so I know exactly then what's going to print out. We go house number, insert. I need to have a little space. So I'm going to add a space in here. More items, the road. Next line. And add the city. Next line. And the county. On to the next line, and I think then if we just have the postcode, that'll be fine. Okay. Now for the date, I can actually go to the option within Word for insert, date and time. I'm happy with that. This will update automatically if I was to print these letters out at a later date, so it's just know it's there. Change looks like no, it's 18th, 19th, etc. Now I'm going to add their details in here as well, so it prints these off automatically. And the more items, I'm going to go to title, insert, and then their last name, surname. There we go. Okay, for now, for the sake of this, we've shown you how to clearly add an address so we know exactly what's going to be in the address, as well as a title and surname. And I'm quite happy for this. For the sake of this demo, that's enough. Now I can preview my letters, and this allows me to see those details populated for each person's letter. And I can browse each recipient just here, so I can double check. Now if their details are quite long for any reason, it's at this point I can adjust the parameters. It does depend on the template they give you for the exam and the details of the contacts. Okay, so I can preview all 5 of those. If I'm happy with those, I can complete the merge. And if I wish to do any more personalisation here, I can edit each individual letter. And this will open a new document with your merged letters. To make changes to all letters, switch back to the original document. And if I wanted to print, I can just go to print. Or I want to print all of them, just the current records, or from certain pages and recipients. Okay, and that's all you really need to know about the mail merger in Word. It's knowing what it can do and the sort of the automatic features within the wizard. So it's just an understanding. I wouldn't go much further than that. That'll achieve you all the marks you need. Otherwise it'll get overcomplicated. But practice that a few times with your own information and some details for making up some contacts. And then once you've done that a few times and you fully understand what the point of the mail merge is, then you'll be ready for the exam. Practice task. Create a basic outline of a letter, leaving plenty of line spaces. When selecting recipients, create a few new contacts. Include the title, surname, and addresses within your template letter. Check, but do not physically print your letters. Some may need tweaking.